What you're about to see is an undated and unverified video, but this shows the valor of our braves. You're seeing this first on Times Now. This is an unverified, undated, that disclaimer going out very clearly. We don't know when this was shot, but what you can see and what is confirmed is the intensity and the intent with which our forces are giving it back to the Chinese troops. Indian soldiers in hand-to-hand combat with the Chinese soldiers, and as you can make out from this video, the Chinese, their body language is giving it away. They are not just stepping back, but they are also in a way signaling that enough, let's sort out differences, let's talk. Very, very dramatic images, visuals out on national TV for the first time. But like I said, once again, this is an undated and unverified video. Nikunj Garg, if I could bring you in, what do you make of this?
Well, Pranesh, there is absolutely no doubt about the fact that the Indian troops have fought valiantly. And there is absolutely no doubt in anybody's mind across the world. In any situation, Indian men, Indian forces, Indian armed forces have always kept the nation's flag flying high. So for anybody to doubt their valor, anybody to doubt their capacity to fight back even under intense pressure or even under intense situations in which probably they are outnumbered. I am not saying for a moment that they were outnumbered by the Chinese in this situation, but in any situation where they're outnumbered, they've always, see, the entire history of Indian armed forces, particularly the Indian Army, is replete with all across the globe instances and cases where they have fought against all adversity and emerged victorious. So or Chinese for that matter, also are aware of what the Indian Army is all about. In 1962, just because of the terrain or just because of their treacherousness and the ambiguity of the message that was coming from the political leadership of that time, unfortunately, Chinese got an upper hand. But it is not as if they did not get a bloody nose even that time. So, and now with an unambiguous message from the political leadership and a much improved infrastructure and armament at their disposal, I have absolutely no doubt that Indian soldiers will give a befitting reply to the Chinese should they dare to repeat what they have done at Galwan Valley. At Galwan also, the Chinese have, as always, indulged in deceit. And modern day warfare, modern day honorable, respectable armies do not indulge in deceit. Chinese have done it and they think that they have gotten away with it once, but that is all about it. And in that getting away also, Pranesh, by all accounts from across the globe, the Americans, the Russians, the Chinese themselves, and the entire international community knows that Chinese have not gotten away lightly. So therefore, for anybody to have any doubts in their mind about the performance of the Indian Army under intense pressure also would be foolish to use the harshest words, and would be naive to use a mild adjective. Right. Therefore, I'm quite sure that this situation, as now Srinjoy is breaking this story, right, that the Chinese are meeting at the corps commander levels. They also want,
absolutely. Dialogue is welcome, but India will not take things lying down. RSN Singh also joining us. Mr. Singh, we've accessed this undated, unverified video, but what is clear in it is the valor of our forces. They are standing eye to eye. In fact, in a physical fist fight with the Chinese, and the body language of the PLA troops is giving it away.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
No, I said, though you are saying it is unverified, but let me tell you, it is of recent origin, because, there is fresh snow, and whatever has transpired in the recent times, you must have seen there was a thin layer of snow, and secondly, it is post-COVID, because everybody is wearing a mask. Now, one thing, it dispels those, notions that, Indian soldiers move unarmed. you see those fellows carrying their weapons. Of course, I mean not in a different position altogether, but to say that they are not carrying arms is absolutely wrong. We are just, we have just been observing an agreement that was
right. We were bound by rules. Just stay with us, Mr. Arasin. Let's try to boost the NAT on these pictures. Let's try to listen in what's happening.
Come here. Go back. Video. Go back. Go My friend, go. अरे बॉडी लाख की तरफ से बना दी बढ़िया एकदम दिया भी आ रही है मजा आ गया आज हाँ कैप्टन जैक ओए बहुत गजब आई है हाँ बढ़िया वो बोतल दे वो बोतल ले जा ओए वो बोतल ले रहा हूँ मैं लाता हूँ उसको पकड़ लेगा मैं ले आऊँगा वाटर बोतल Don't touch me! Don't touch me! भागी रुक जाओ गो बैक वो बेइज्जती करेगा पीछे जाओ बोतल वाटर बोतल प्लीज Yeah, good. My soldiers will stand with me till the time your officers are standing. Your soldiers are standing. You just can stand behind me. They're standing behind you. And now we request you to move back where the interaction takes place. उसको मुंह देखना कोई नहीं गोलगप्पे खाएगा गोलगप्पे खिला दिए ना कोई नहीं डोंट वरी राइट नाउ वी रिक्वेस्ट यू टू मूव बैक टू वेयर यू ओ इसको दूर रख सांप से दूर
सांप से दूर
Sir, sort of back. Sir, distance.
नहीं सांप से दूर
Distance, sir.
और फिर क्या है फिर तो
Please, sir. We don't need to wear mask.
बाकी सर रिलैक्स रिलैक्स
Is that friend okay? Ask him, is he okay? पीछे हो जाओ.
ओनली मैं रहूंगा और सब सांप से पीछे
Is he okay? Is my friend okay?
This video that you just saw on Times Now should serve as proof and reminder for all those who were doubting the valor of our forces. The date is not clear, but what's clear is how the Chinese were pushed back. Go back is something that you hear throughout this video, and the Chinese have chickened out, all caught on camera. Yes, Vivek? Vivek, if you can hear me.
Yes, Pranesh, I've been hearing you in bits and pieces, audio level, very good. But you know, what you saw right now is a picture which has been happening along the Indian border with China for quite some time. Now, this is a difficulty, this is a challenge that our armchair Twitterati should see. Our men facing and fighting off the Chinese bravely. Remember, the good thing now is that the rules of engagement which were set in 95 and 2006 have been set aside by the government of India. This means the men can now respond much more effectively. They can, if their lives are endangered, they can use their firearms. They are no more tied to a bureaucracy where they'll have to call in their officers and the officers will have to ask the CO. That has been done with. Now the men can face the challenge directly. The forces have been empowered at multiple levels. They can acquire weapons up to a certain amount without any sanction. Now this is a kind of empowerment that the forces and the men on the ground were asking for quite some time. Remember, whenever we speak of the crisis which is happening along the LAC, whether it be from Far Eastern Ladakh to Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh, one must understand that several flashpoints like what you saw today. This video just happened to be out. It's a fairly recent video that I can tell you, Pranesh, but this has been out for some time. This has been happening at multiple places and locations. And it is here that, as I said, whether our armchair Twitterati intellectuals or our two-bit politicians in Delhi should understand, keep away your local politics away and think of those men on the ground, the kind of challenge they are facing, the kind of difficulties that they are facing, and at least for them, work together.